Is they're ending the sport for you today. Now it's time for today's Asia Live. So here is Asia Live then. We're talking about the Taliban on the programme today. In fact, we're going to go straight to our correspondent in Islamabad, Taha Siddiqui. Taha, gather paramilitary forces planning to carry out operations there against the Taliban in Karachi.
Yes, this news hit the headlines here in Pakistan last week. There was a lot of run-up to that, a lot of discussion on how to deal with the Taliban threat in Karachi, which is the largest and the most populous city in the country. This is one of the newspapers which has carried out one of the maps of Karachi with all the potential areas where there is tensions and where, according to it, there is extortion, target killings, and kidnappings by the Taliban. So as you can see, it's spread out around Karachi, and then they've also given out how many people have been killed in each of these areas. According to this newspaper and according to the independent estimates that we have, there has been a 60% rise of killings this year in comparison to the last year. In last year, we saw around about 2,100 killings. This year, in the first 6 months, there have already been around about 1,700 killings. So we're seeing that this whole Talibanization of Karachi, which we did earlier on, also did a report there when we were in Karachi. So we saw this happening, and now finally the paramilitary forces are waking up and they are taking action. And this is a surgical operation against targeted areas and against selected targets in the city.
And Taha, at the same time that's happening in the Karachi area, the Taliban also trying to widen their empire of terror to other areas in northern Pakistan.
Yes, definitely. In the north of Pakistan, where the Kashmir region lies, we've seen that in the summers that just went by, 9 foreigners were killed who were mountain trekkers. And after that, we visited the area and found out what the situation is over there. And we found a lot of presence of Taliban and Sunni militant groups. You can see more in this report. In this beautiful valley, peace is now a distant dream. With the Taliban building a new base here, the government has recently set up multiple checkposts with military personnel positioned at each, allowing travel solely with police escorts. In the main city too, the police are always on call, vigilantly monitoring every move. The government has more than doubled police forces in the last 5 years, adding 5,000 more men to fight the terrorists. Who's your fight with?
The Taliban and other affiliated groups. There may also be a foreign hand behind them.
So what have you done as police to address the concerns of public?
Well, there is a lot of fear. We have been telling people not to worry and continue their daily lives and business, since we will manage the security. But the situation is that we have bomb blasts and all.
Despite these efforts, the terror attacks continue. This June, the Taliban shot dead 9 foreign mountaineers and recently killed the investigators of the case too. The terrorists have intensified their attacks against the local Shiite community as well, who they consider heretics. One such spree of killings happened last year when the Taliban stopped a bus carrying locals, identified the Shiite passengers and killed 19 of them. Zora's husband was one of the victims.
They smashed his face with rocks beyond recognition. And then they rode bikes over his dead body.
The outsiders are joining up with people who already live here, because without local support they couldn't have come. So the Taliban and these local groups have joined hands and are targeting us.
Locals accuse Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, a terrorist network affiliated with the Taliban, for the killings. The group's political front agrees to meet under the watchful eye of their armed bodyguards.
The Pakistani government should pass a law forcing the Shiites and other religious minorities to respect Sunni beliefs.
And if the law is passed, then what?
We'll put an end to the violence.
These jihadi groups, despite being banned by the government, operate openly with covert support from the Pakistan military and fight Pakistan's proxy war in Afghanistan and Kashmir.
For a long time, we've been fighting for the rights of Muslims in Kashmir, but our patience is running out. India will face dangerous consequences. There will be no need for the Pakistani army to fight them, because the Pakistani people are 10 times more passionate about it. We'll teach the Indians a lesson they won't forget and kill many of them, just like what we did at the time of independence.
While Islamabad wants to normalize its relations with New Delhi and maintain a geostrategic relationship with China, which uses this province as a trade route, the Talibanization of Gilgit can have serious consequences, not just for Pakistan, but also for regional powers.
So, Taha, are the terrorists still at large there, basically?
Yes, I mean, we did hear about like 3 terrorists being, or suspected terrorists being arrested last week. But as of yet, there has been no headway as to who was behind the attacks, and they have not revealed. They've said that because it's such a sensitive issue, they're not revealing information. But we've seen in the past that they have arrested a lot of people and then let them go. And we haven't had any convictions in this area in Gilgit-Baltistan. There have been repeated killings, repeated terrorist attacks. People get arrested and then they are let go. So as of yet, we could say safely that these terrorists are still at large.
Taha Siddiqui, thanks very much. Taha Siddiqui, our correspondent, joining us there for today's Asia Live. Well, that's it from me for now. I'll be back, of course, in an hour's time here on France 24. Cyril Vanier is going to be here next, though. He'll be speaking shortly to our correspondent in Moscow on the latest on the plan to avoid international military action in Syria. That'll all be with you after the break here on France 24, so don't go away.